What is going on, everybody? Total Average Gamer here, back with another video. Today we're doing another tier list. Today we're going to be doing a really cool tier list, and that is an Undertaker tier list. If you know a little bit about me, you know that I'm a huge wrestling fan. Not only a huge wrestling fan, I'm also a huge Undertaker fan. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. So I figured it'd be fitting to do a Undertaker tier list. We got S, A, B, C, and D tiers. We have all these different personas of the Undertaker. So let's go ahead and check it out. Let's do it. First off, we're going to start from the very beginning. Mean Mark Calloway. Mean Mark Callos, whatever you want to call him. I'm going to call him Mean Mark Calloway. But we have Mean Mark Calloway right at the very beginning. And now what we're going to do is, I wasn't really a big fan of Mean Mark Calloway. I mean, yes, obviously this is what started it. Seeing a really big 6'10" guy, you know, do these crazy backflips and run very fast was like, you knew he had a lot of potential. But this character wasn't doing it. Dropping that in the D tier. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments down below. Then we're going to go straight away to his debut as The Undertaker, which is the Dead Man persona, which he debuted in, I believe, what was it, 1990 Survivor Series with Ted DiBiase. So with this Undertaker, I thought it was great. I thought it was like, you know, maybe one of the best, but I thought it was great. But if I'm being honest, compared to all the other personas of The Undertaker here, it's definitely not his best. So, I mean, yeah, he was cool, but he was too serious. He was too, like, he's the dead man, doesn't talk, no promos, nothing like that. So, with that being said, I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for this. But I'm dropping this in the C tier. That's right. And then we're going to immediately follow that up with, you know, the mid-90s Taker, which was the dark side Taker, when he actually started doing promos, when he actually started being more of a on-screen character and not just a guy that walks in the ring and just, you know, destroys people and leaves. And this Taker is one of my favorites. I love that Taker. I thought they did an awesome job with that one. All the matches he had with Steve Austin, with Psycho Sid around this time, I would say were top tier in my personal opinion. So with this Undertaker, I'm going to have to put it in the A tier for sure. In my opinion, that's where it's going. Immediately following that, we're going to the dark side Taker. Now, I can't really see these pictures full screen. I don't really know how to do that. But what I can tell is that this might be the one right before the Lord of Darkness. So if this is, you know, the Dark Side Taker V2, basically, which is coming up to mid to late 90s, like 96, this Taker was also great. This Taker started taking, again, his character to the next level. So I would have to put this one not above the first Dark Side Taker. I'm going to put it right below in the B tier. Again, I might get some heat for that, but I mean, he was injured for a little while, so I'm going to have to put that one right there. Then we're going with Undertaker with the Phantom Mask. Now, this look was phenomenal, but he didn't do much as this Taker. I think it was only for like a few months that he had this mask on when he broke his nose, when Mabel broke his nose. So I'm gonna have to put it in the same tier with the Dark Side Taker, because I mean, kind of the same exact character, just he wore a mask. So yeah, that goes right there. Now for the Lord of Darkness Undertaker. This is, you know, mid-Attitude Era, the late 90s. Man, this Taker took things to the next level. This is when he was, you know, sacrificing people on the stage and stuff like that, right before Ministry of Darkness. And I would have to put this Taker also in the A tier list as one of my favorite looks for Taker. Also, one of my favorite, personas of Taker. Immediately following up is Lord of Darkness. I'm sorry, is the Ministry of Darkness Taker. Now, guys, there's not much to say about this. This is personally the greatest version of the Undertaker. I mean, I wish it lasted a lot longer. It only lasts like late '98 till late '99. It was only like 1 year, and I wish they did a lot more. I mean, that WrestleMania 15, Hell in a Cell with him and Big Boss Man, must say that's one of my favorite matches. I rewatch it all the time. So yeah, Ministry of Darkness Taker has to by far be an S tier Taker for me. And then we're going with the starting of the American Badass Taker when he first came out as American Badass in the year 2000. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat, Undertaker turning into American Badass might have been the greatest thing he ever did in his entire career. Like, yes, I just said that I love the Ministry of Darkness. I wish they didn't end it. But if they didn't end it, we would never wind up with the American Badass, which there's not much to say about it. Like I just said, I mean, one of the greatest in-ring competitors, one of the greatest personas in WWE history. And that's just not just me being biased. That's the truth. So American Badass Taker has to go to the S tier. Next up, we have Big Evil. This is, mid 2000s, like 2002, 2003, going up to like 2004. And this Taker, this is when I started growing up watching wrestling and watching him every week, with the short hair and biker chains. Man, I wish I could go back to that time. With that being said, with the feuds he had with Brock Lesnar, the feuds he had with, the likes of Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, man, this Taker for sure is in the S tier, 1000%. And then we're getting to, right after he was buried alive by Kane in the match with him versus Vince McMahon. He debuted later on WrestleMania 20 as the Dead Man yet again. Now, at the time when I was watching, I was so excited. I was like, man, we got the Dead Man back. But then later on that day, I was like, yeah, but now we don't have the American Badass anymore. And while I loved this Taker, it was too over the top. It was too much, like all the videos with him and Teddy Long and stuff was really cool. I love the feuds he had with Randy Orton and with Mark Henry and with Kane in this time. But I cannot say that this was my favorite. I'm sorry. I mean, again, I might get a lot of heat for this, but this one's going in the A tier. I mean, it's not S tier, but it is a really good time for Taker. So that's where it's going right there. Next up, we have, I guess you could say Dead Man 2.0. You could say Dark Side 2.0, which is Undertaker in the years of, 2009 up until, I guess, 2012, I guess you would say, or maybe a little bit before that. I guess I would say 2007 to 2011. Yeah. And this Taker dominating on SmackDown every week, holding the big gold belt. The matches he had with Shawn Michaels, the matches he had with Edge, and man, there is nowhere else for this Taker to be but the S tier. His greatest physique ever, putting on unbelievable matches every week, has to be S tier. So now that leaves us to the Undertaker in 2011? No, 2012, which was WrestleMania 28, going up against Triple H. I mean, he only had one match in this whole year, so there's not much really to judge him by. So let's just go by looks. And when he took that thing off and he had, he was baldy, man, my house had the biggest pop ever for me. I was screaming, I was like, wow, he looks so cool. It's awesome. I can't wait to see what they do next. That match with Triple H was iconic. It was once in a lifetime. It was A plus match, 100%. So that one has to go into the A tier because he only had one match that year, and I mean he did look very cool, but not as cool as these ones. Got to put him in the A tier. Up next, Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, basically at WrestleMania 30. Again, he only had a handful of matches in this year. Seeing him come out with the big goatee was like, man, that was really cool. That's the closest he ever got to the Ministry of Darkness again. And with that being said, him losing the streak was very upsetting. He still had a good physique and stuff, but I guess I would put this also in A tier. And then next we got short hair Taker from 2018, I believe, or 2019. And this is when he fell off hard. This is when he fell off strong, and it was hard to watch him week by week and try to watch him fight Goldberg and try to watch him fight Roman Reigns. Sorry, but this Taker is going all the way down in the D tier next to Mark Callos. Mean Mark Callos. Then we got Undertaker from, I believe, what was like 2020? Like 2020. No, I'm sorry. Like 2019, late 2019. And this Taker, also not my favorite. Again, watching him suffer in those kind of matches, watching him fail miserably, it was very hard to watch. So again, this Taker is going in the D tier for me. And then we get to the Boneyard match Taker. Let me tell you guys why this Undertaker means so much to me. Again, growing up, American Badass Taker was my guy. So imagine, you go to Raw 30th, which was in 2023, and you go to Raw 30th, and you hear the Undertaker's bell ring with LA Knight in the ring, and I'm just snapping, I'm going crazy. I hardly ever got to see the Undertaker live, so to see him come out to the ring, all the lights turn off, and then his song just plays. The American Badass theme, and he comes out basically in the same attire that he came out in the Boneyard match with the motorcycle and everything. I love that he came back as American Badass. I love that he came back as American Badass when the WWE needed him the most during the terrible time of COVID. But yet again, he only had one match, not in his best shape. So I would have to put this one in B tier. So again, come to think about it, if I had to change any of these around, I guess I would... Would I change anything around? You know what? I don't think so. I think it's perfect the way it is. We got Ministry of Darkness Taker at the S tier. American Badass, Big Evil, and the Dead Man 2.0. And all the rest beneath it. And I think that's the only way that I could set that list up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you want to bully me, if you want to endorse me, go to those comments and hit me up. I hope you guys have a good day. Take care.